Well, hello, and thank you so much for stopping by the In Trive Talks, a place for the inspired, thriving tribe. I am your host, Ciera Payton, and I'm so excited to share with you today's very, very special guest. But before we dive into this interview, I need you to go ahead and do me a favor and be sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below, because you're going to love all of the content that I share here because I created it for you. Yes, you. All right? So go ahead, take a moment, hit like, hit subscribe. And now let's get into it. So today's guest is someone who I just adore. We got the chance to work with each other years ago, and it has been so awesome to see her career just take off ever since then. All right. And so today's very special guest is Quin Walters. Now, I just want to tell you a little bit about Quin before we hear from her. All right. So Quin Walters is currently in her third season as Laura on BET's House of Pain. Quin caught the eye of Tyler Perry, which landed her a supporting role in the Medea family funeral as the role of Renee. And that's the movie that she and I worked on with each other. The Chicago native discovered her passion for acting at the age of 6, and she began performing in live theater productions. Walters has appeared in several television shows, feature films, and commercials. Quin says her ultimate goal is to inspire people to be deliberate with their intentions and purposeful with their capabilities, because everything we do creates a foundation for our future and for those who will follow behind us. God blessed us all with unique gifts. How we individually express ourselves and how we treat others becomes our legacy. So, without further ado, please welcome Quin Walters. So here we go. All right, Quin. Well, I just introduced you and welcome, and thank you so much for stopping by the In Tribe. I so appreciate you being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No. Thank you. Thank you for having me. When you reached out, I was like, what? Yes, of course.
Yay!
So, thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. And so anyway, well, I mean, let's just dive on into this whole thing because I want to get to know more about you and let people know more about you. I know that people see you on TV and everything, but we want to just get down into who is Quin Walters. All right. So, so just to start, I just love to just do a few little icebreakers. Can you tell everyone, what's your zodiac sign? Do you know all the big three, like your rising and your moon sign? And, has there been anything that you've heard about your zodiac sign that you feel is true or that you feel is false?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'm a Cancer.
Yeah.
My birthday's July 2nd, and I just learned my rising and my moon. I didn't know anything about these things until. So my rising is Libra.
Okay.
And my moon is Sagittarius.
Okay. All right.
And I hear it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. And then people say that Cancers are very sensitive. That's true.
Okay.
But in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have a lot of empathy and we're empaths. We take on people's feelings. We vibe off of the energy and we love hard. So all of that's true. And I haven't really heard any like bad stuff.
Yeah, I haven't either. My dad's a Cancer, so yeah, definitely like I've always heard that they have like big hearts, and so I could see that. I believe that. I definitely see that in you too. So yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to that.
Yeah. Good people, good people. I love it. All right, so we got the zodiac stuff, we know Cancer, Libra, and Sagittarius. So I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna look into that. I'm not too deep into all of it, but I just know a little bit of things. So, anyway, yeah. It's interesting. I love it. So
it is. It really is. Start to read and learn about what this one's doing and that one's doing in this time of year and how to vibe with other people. Like it's interesting.
It is. I know that there's maybe some zodiac signs. I'm like, I'm good. Like you could, you can. I will not say them, but just like, you can back off a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, so all right. So where are you from? And can you tell us a little bit about where you grew up, your parents' occupation? What was your cultural upbringing like? I mean, just spill it for us.
I'm from Chicago, born and raised.
Nice.
I'm from the north side. for those of y'all who know. And I'm the oldest of four. I grew up with a lot of love, a lot of laughter. My dad is a comedian, even though he's uncertified. He's a family comedian. He's hilarious. So just good times, like doing shows in the living room with my siblings and putting on shows and reciting Martin and The Color Purple and Icy Cups in the summertime shy, and going sledding in the winter, like just good times. Like I have a really good recollection of growing up. Like it wasn't crazy. It was chill. It was good. I actually like my heart is still in Chicago. I live in LA, but like I have such a good connection with my hometown. Like it's still near and dear to my heart. And my dad's a firefighter. He's a lieutenant now. So he's out there making people laugh and saving lives. And my mom has done IT for many, many years. So she's a brainiac, super smart with computers. And they always supported me and nurtured me and my passions and whatever I wanted to do, they supported me. And so I'm just grateful. Like I'm so grateful that I had that support. Because I don't know what it would be like if it wasn't. I actually thought that my path was going to take me somewhere else. I actually was studying to be a doctor. Wow. And I was passionate about being a doctor. I was pre-med. I was about that life. And,
wow. I never knew that. That's amazing. Yep. Whoa. Because it's funny, because I've thought about that too. But anyway, we can dive into that later. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's so cool. I love that. So
yeah. And I had a genuine passion for science, but then when I got to college, chemistry just kicked my butt and I wasn't doing good. And my dad thought that I was just not focused, and he thought that I wasn't serious, and it wasn't that. It was just a part of my brain that wasn't connecting, right? Yeah. And he made me switch my major and was like, you're going to do theater because that's what you love. That's what you're good at. That's what you've always done. And you're not going to waste my money. So exactly. You're going to switch your major and you're going to do theater. And when I did that and made that switch, it was the best thing ever. Like straight A's, Dean's List, joy, happiness, plays, movies. Like it just like I opened up. I was able to be me fully in my artistry. And so I just thank my parents for having that foresight, you know what I mean? And being able to take a stand, you know, with my life. Because I was thinking that I needed to do medicine for them.
Wow.
They were like, nah, you need to do what you're passionate about. Like, don't like, thank you.
Yeah. Were your parents ever, you know, interested at all in the arts themselves? Like, did they ever tell you about, you know, oh, I was in theater as a kid, or did they ever have aspirations of being on film and TV at all, or anything?
No, not that I know of. My dad was a basketball player. My mom was a cheerleader. And my dad, ironically though, he was in some movies. My dad has played in films and television series, and it was just by happenstance. He was on the job as a firefighter, and they needed some extras for a movie with Keanu Reeves and Morgan Freeman. And so they ship off a few firefighters to the set. My dad's playing an extra. There's a guy on the set who can't do the lines properly. So the director turns to my dad and is like, hey, why don't you say these lines? And my dad's like, me? I'm like, okay. Wow. My dad's fine, nails the part, makes it in the movie, has a whole, I'm like, what? So my dad's in the movie Chain Reaction with Morgan Freeman and Keanu Reeves.
Okay, I'm watching this movie like ASAP. I'm about to like give your dad some props for sure. So yeah.
What the? So then after that, he gets his SAG card. He's in Never Kiss with Drew Barrymore. He did Stir of Echoes, and he did some extra work on ER. He just started working, and it didn't last long because he's still a firefighter, but he had a little run where he was working.
Wow.
This man didn't take a day in his life, and he gets to be on set. But it was great. It was so exciting. And so I think that also was inspirational for me too, because I was literally watching him just do it.
So, just back with your dad though. So, when he got his run and was, acting, were you in the pursuit of acting at all? Or, I mean, like, were you living in LA? Like, what? I'm just curious because listening to that story, it's such a testimony of like, just being. You know what I mean? Like, us actors, we want to be so like, let me really get in this role. Let me really let me show, And here your dad is a firefighter and he's like, yeah, I'll do these lines, So I'm just curious about, see, like, I don't know, what did you learn from that? If you were in the pursuit at that time or if you were just starting out, what
I
was
was
the takeaway?
just starting out. I was still in high school, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken. These were like those early high school years, if I'm being accurate. And so I was in drama club. I was theater major because we could do majors in high school. So I was a theater major, and I just it seemed, it's weird. It seemed normal. It
Wow.
didn't seem like, it seems crazy now when I look back. When I was in it, it
Mhm.
just seemed like everyday life. It just seemed like, oh, he got this opportunity and that's crazy and that's great. And go do your homework. Like we didn't make a big deal out of it.
Cool.
It was exciting, but
Mhm.
it just seemed normal. Now that I'm a full actor, full professional, and now when I look back, I'm like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was great. Like he could, I mean, he still could have a whole career,
Hmm.
but he really could have pivoted and just became this actor because he had an agent that wanted him. He
Wow.
SAG card. He was just handsome and ready to work. I mean, and not pretentious, not
Hmm.
not overthinking, and all those things, right? So it was just something that was at that time. So
Wow.
weird.
That's
Yeah.
so cool though. I just love that. I love that story. Like, please keep telling that story for sure. Like, please. Oh man. Okay. So back to you and your journey. Now, I know that, you shared that your dad was kind of the catalyst that was like, "Hey, I'm going to put you in these theater classes." But what was a moment for you that you were like, all right, I'm gonna really go for this thing full throttle. And was it a moment where you're on stage or you saw someone or just something like, I'm just curious, what was that moment that you were like, okay, I got something here and I'm gonna go for it?
It was when I was 6 years old.
Mm,
I had just watched The Color Purple.
mm,
That movie did something to me. And I just will never forget how it made me feel. I will
mm.
remember the feeling that I felt. I thought, just in general, I thought all TV was real. As I, I just thought there was a camera guy walking around filming people's real. It just made sense to me.
Yeah,
And then they showed it to us on this box.
yeah.
Uh, Listen, so because my uncle had a camcorder, and camcorders were new in the 80s. So
Mm-hmm.
when you recorded on a camcorder, you would put it onto the screen and your family could sit around and watch the birthday party, the
Yep.
Christmas party, and we sat around and we watched. So I'm like, that's what they're doing for TV. So
Mm-hmm.
I walk around and then we're just putting it
Wow. No, I could relate to that big time for sure.
right. The kids nowadays won't understand. They're gonna think I'm crazy, but
Yeah.
right, it was all new. So it made sense to me, and I thought it was real. And I'm sitting there, and I'm so moved by
Mm.
these performances. I'm crying tears, and my mother is like, "You don't have to cry. Like it's not real. Like they're just actors. They're just pretending. It's a set. It's the director. This is their costumes. This is not real life." And I'm like, "What do you mean it's not real?" It feels real. And she's like, "No, it's not real." And in that moment, I knew, I was like, I want to make people feel something from me pretending to do something, from me becoming another character and
Yes.
living a life outside of my own. I knew. I was 6. I knew. So I started to do little plays in church and at school and poetry slams and competitions and writing poetry too. And got to high school and started doing more plays. And we had the opportunity to write our own production as well and score and perform in and all of that. So I just dove into it sort of young, and then moved to LA after college.
Okay.
So yeah,
Where'd you go to college?
I went to UIC, University of Illinois, Chicago.
Oh, nice. And then
Like
when
I
you were there, did you study theater as well?
got my BFA from
Yeah.
there and worked for a year and then moved to LA.
Wow. Now, were there any teachers there in college that really nurtured your talent and, really helped you along the way?
Oh, for sure. So many actually. There's Cynthia Blaze, Sharon Gopford, Wood
Mm,
L, all in different areas, but all bringing something different to help me cultivate, whether it was my voice,
mm,
teaching me dialects, movement. Sharon worked with us with physical movement, and we did capoeira and yoga and
mm,
all of these different physical things to help center ourselves as actors.
mm.
And that was great. That was so necessary looking back. And just really being able to express myself in that space in college. It was such an open time because we all were still learning.
Yeah.
So it was just a way to still express yourself, but get that education and have that in your back pocket. You have the tools, you have the history of the art and everything that they taught. I wish they had a film program though, because it was all theater.
Yeah, a lot of programs have like because the school I went to, North Carolina School of the Arts, which is now University of North Carolina School of the Arts, they had a
Mhm.
film program, like they had a whole school of film, but School of Drama and School of Film like rarely crossed over or worked with each other. I think it wasn't until my senior year of college that they started to do something, but I just remember the whole time I was like, why are we not? Like, I was just like, but I mean, the programs are so intense with, theater and rehearsals, and, it would have been crazy to add something else. But, those experiences to me, going to like acting school, conservatory, I always equate them to The Real World, that reality show from MTV, because that's what I feel like it is. It's like you literally force all these like teenagers or post-teenagers, young adults, into these like theater spaces, and everybody's wearing tights and whatever, and it's just like your emotions are all on your sleeves, and it's crazy. People losing their minds, people going insane, and you're having the best time of your life. It's like they should really set up just cameras around those places and just like do a live feed, because conservatory is crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. Like,
It's insane. You
yeah.
find yourself, you lose yourself,
Mhm.
all of the above.
Yeah, but I think you come out okay. Like you have a stronger sense of self when you come out of those programs, I feel like. So, yeah.
That's the time that you will never forget.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, after college, you worked for a little while. You stayed in Chicago, and then you took that leap to go to LA. I am so curious because when I first moved to LA, everybody was like, your first year in LA is your worst year. And I was like, whatever. And when I moved here, I was like, oh, I see what you're talking about. I don't know if that was your experience at all, but I'm just curious, what was that move like for you? What was your first year like? How was it? What happened? Can you walk me through it, please?
One word, trash.
Wow. Wow.
That first year was horrible. It was so hard.
Yes.
Oh, so hard. It was
Yes.
it felt like torture. Like,
Yep.
why do this to yourself? Why would you put yourself through this? Like, you had such a great life in Chicago. Like, why would you choose to drive 36 hours in a Ford Focus to California and sleep on the floor for the first week, and then sleep on an air mattress, and then eat out of cans because you don't
Yep.
have a wave yet, and you don't have the gas turned on, so you're like popping cans of corn and like eating the corn until you get the heat on, and and you get your microwave and your TV on, and working the most odd jobs.
Girl, yes. That was for real. For real, for real.
Like, I was, oh, I was like, did I just like lose all my brain cells once I moved to LA? I was working in San Diego when I first moved here. I would drive to San Diego. San Diego's 2 hours away, for those of you who don't know. 2 hours away from LA. I would drive 2 hours. So you can imagine that's a full tank of gas.
Yeah.
And I would work and only make $150 to do the promotion for Dasani water company. And then I would have to spend the night, so I have to pay $50 for a hotel, and then a motel rather, not all over.
Yeah.
Let's be clear, all at hotel, okay? And wake up the next day, drive to the mall, do promotions again, and then drive back to LA. I would come back even. You didn't make any money, Quin, because you spent it on gas, food, and motel. What are you thinking? But like,
Girl.
you're like, I gotta hustle, I gotta work, I gotta but that's not it. But 23, young, dumb, naive, not thirsty, but hungry, eager, excited, and resilient in a way, because I was like, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna not try. So let me try. And so that's just one gig.
Yeah.
Bars, restaurants, clubs, catering jobs, you name it.
Girl, one of my jobs was bedazzling iPhones and whatever little electronics little teenagers wanted me to do. I had to go to like different birthday parties and just like bedazzle, and probably made like $50, per party.
But that sounds like some fun. I mean,
it was fun, and I got, I would eat, free food and stuff. I also like did it at weddings and stuff, but I mean, I was living in Riverside when I first moved out to LA, and driving to Hollywood almost every day for auditions. And then my manager was like, come to this dance class with me. And I was like, dude, I'm in Riverside. Like, I would love to, but it's hard. I was like, and finally, when I got smart enough to move to Hollywood, I just slept on friends' couches for a while. And then, but anyway, it's crazy. What was one of your other jobs you were about to say?
Oh, I worked for the Los Angeles Homeless Services Coalition, where we would go to different neighborhoods, knock on people's doors, and ask them for money to help homeless children in LA. And it was the most humbling, the most, altruistic job that you could have, as well as the worst job that I ever had. I mean, I was chased by dogs. I had people threaten to call me. I would go home crying because some days I wouldn't get any donations, and they would report back to the base camp, and they would be like, Quin, what are you doing out there? What are you saying out there? Why can't you get any donations? I'm like, I'm trying. I'm being nice. I'm saying that you gave me. I'm showing them my lanyard. I'm showing them the permit, and they're not donating. And it was just the roughest, toughest. Lord. I made it, Jesus.
You made it. And hats off to the people who are still doing that job. Like, whew, God bless them for sure, because I know that is not easy work at all. So, but you got through, you did it, and here you are. So, yeah. All right. I just want to switch gears just a little bit and just talk a little bit about motherhood, becoming a mother while being an actress. What were some things that you learned during that experience, and was there any doubt at all that, you would continue acting, or, anything like that, because I know so much. And I feel like in today's time, I think our perspective is changing a lot around motherhood, and and still being in pursuit of an acting or performing career. But I do feel like back in the day, it was like, oh, if you have a child, or like, just forget it, like hang it up. And it's such small thinking, but it's just, that's what I've heard. I mean, I've literally had people, tell me like, don't get pregnant, don't, like, do whatever, like, don't. I'd be like, well, it's a beautiful thing and people make it work, and so, anyway, I just want to know a little bit about your experience around that.
Yeah, I definitely feel like my daughter's 8.
Mhm.
So I feel like she's almost 9. So 9, 10 years ago, I feel like I definitely was right on the cusp of the industry coming off of that whole ideology of, if you get pregnant and you're a female, you can forget it. Your career's done. Hang it up. People were just starting to accept. You have Beyonce had a baby, and Kim Kardashian. Their kids are kind of around my daughter's age. So you
Mhm.
have public figures who are working women, and then now new moms, and it's so accepted and it's so welcomed and appreciated and admired. And so
Mhm.
I had a little bit of that fear, but I also was open with my reps, and they were like, okay, great, we'll get you some pregnancy auditions. Great.
Nice.
Mommy and me auditions. And so that really helped me feel comfortable in that space. And so then once I became a mother, I was like, all right, I can do this. I have the support of my team. I'm definitely excited and grateful that I'm a mother, and I wanted to be a mom, and I was blessed with that. And so I was excited, and we did go on mommy daughter auditions, and we did book. Aria's first booking was a Similac commercial when she was
Wow.
months old, and yeah, and then she booked some more stuff. She booked the Target ad and Ross commercials. Like she started booking, girl. It was great. And I always felt like I could do it. I always felt like I could work and be a mom. I always
Mhm.
felt that it was necessary to do that. And being a stay-at-home mom was cool with me too. And I definitely wanted to nurture her and be there for her and not have someone else raise my baby. And so I was blessed with that too. I was able to be there. I didn't have to, send her off to a daycare or anything like that. The way my schedule always seemed to work out, I was always with my baby. And those times when I did book, she was with her dad, or my mom would fly into town and watch her, or I would have, best friends who could, take care of her for a short time. So I have been so blessed, so grateful. And I want her to see me working. I want her to see
Yeah.
me pursuing my dreams. I want her to see me, as an artist, as a woman, as an independent individual.
Mm.
And I want that for her too. I want her to see that it's tangible, and that you can do whatever you want to do as well, whatever that may be.
I
Yeah.
love that. Oh my gosh. It's just, and she's so, so beautiful, and such a sweet, sweet little girl. I just love Aria. So, and you did such a great job with her. And just as you were talking though, I just, and this is for, the moms out there right now, or, people thinking about getting pregnant. I mean, I know that's one of my goals one day, is to definitely be a mom. How did you, I know you said that you're really blessed and you had a lot of help, but even now as a working actress, how are you able to just kind of, like, what's the system that you have in place in terms of, okay, I got to go be on location on set for X amount of weeks or whatever, do you bring Aria with you, or, do you have like a family member or someone, watch after her, or her father? I mean, what is the whole setup? Because I think, a lot of people don't know like what that is. I mean, I think we just assume that like you're just, the child is just somewhere off somewhere. But what is your like what's your setup, what's your schedule, what's the routine that you have when you're working and still being a mommy?
Yeah, it varies, right? It depends on how long I'm on set. It depends on where I'm on set. When I have to fly to Atlanta and shoot, there have been times when I was able to bring Aria.
Oh, wow.
So that was great. COVID allowed so much more flexibility because you can take a computer anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
She was on Zoom and I was able to have her right by my side while I was working. So like my mom flew with us and, you know, they were able to be at base camp at home and doing Zoom school, and I would go to set and come back and we all could do dinner together, which I thought was just so great because she didn't want to be without me. I didn't want to be without her. And that allowed us to have that time together before and after school. And then once school, you know, resumed and I had to fly back out, she would stay, you know, at home with her dad. So that worked out. And, you know, going to school and everything. And I would FaceTime, you know, and do the best I could. And so that worked, you know, it worked out. So, you know, her dad and I have a system, you know, that works out well. And she'll spend time with him and they'll do their thing. And, you know, she'll be with me. So it works, you know, and then if, you know, anything else, my mom will fly into town, which I love. My dad has flown in too, but my mom is a little bit more flexible.
Nice.
She's not.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. I just remember also I was reading Vanessa Williams. She has an autobiography and she talks a lot about early in her career. She became a mom really early and I had 3 kids. Well, first she had her 3 kids and just was like, whatever, like I'm gonna be breastfeeding while I'm, you know, standing in line at TSA. Like, you know, she was like, whatever. Like, they're all going with me. They're all going to set with me. You know, we're gonna rock it out. We're gonna do however we got to do it. And she said that she could never imagine, you know, her career or her life without her kids because she literally had them, you know, at the beginning of her career. And so, I don't know. I just thought that was so beautiful. And I think that I don't know. I feel like people need to hear more of these stories because, again, I think the perspective is definitely changing around motherhood in the Hollywood film and TV industry. But there are still some people that are like, what? You know, like, no, you know, and it's just like, no, like, it can all work, you
It
know,
can
and you can work and be a mom and be a parent, you know, so.
100%. It
Yeah.
takes a village, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And so Aria, she's made her film debut. She did some Similac ads and stuff like that back in the day, but now she's, you know, exploring that. How did that come about? And what advice do you tell her, you know, as she's pursuing a career as a young actress?
Yeah, she's doing her thing, honey. She's on red carpets on her own. She don't need my help. I'm so proud of her, and she did have a feature film debut, and she just had her first leading role in her first play last December, and she did amazing. I'm so proud. She is, you know, stepping into her own. I let her do what she says she's interested in, right?
Mhm.
And so she has an agent and she will go out for different things. And she's also had periods where she's been like, mommy, you know, I need a break. It's too many auditions. Like, because she would get called in so much. And she,
Mm.
hey, I have an audition. And I'm like, well, that's because you're cute. And so they see your picture and they want to send you for this audition. And she's like, yeah, but every day. I'm like, okay, let's take a break. We'll email, you know, the reps and put her on hold and, you know, bring her back when she's ready. So it's whatever she wants, because I don't ever want to be that parent that's like, you must, and you gotta, and get
Mm.
do this. And then they resent the work and they resent the art. And it should never feel like that. So yeah, so she's doing her thing, she's thriving, she's doing great. I don't really advice. I mean, I just tell her to have fun. I don't really give her, I mean, I tell her to, you know, speak loudly and, you know, own your space and, you know, you're, you know, you know who you are, and you know your lines. You know, I give her that, but like, I just tell her to have fun. Just
Yeah.
want her to feel all this pressure. You know, it's like there is a certain professionalism, you know, that I do encourage, obviously, but I try not to let that be the leading thing. Like, just go in there, have fun, be bold. Just, if you have an idea, just do it. Just, you know, I really try to keep her in that space, because inevitably, if she continues, all of the other angst, anxiety, all those qualms, they will come. They will come with age,
Mhm.
come with experience. I don't need to implement that. So yeah, I hope she's receiving that. I hope, in my mind, I think I'm not giving her, you know, that angst. I hope that she's receiving me as, mom says be cool, mom says have fun. I hope.
I think so. I mean, look,
I mean,
like I said, she's so sweet and she's so smart. And, just seeing some of the things that you post on, Instagram, like, I feel like she's got that. And I just feel like kids in general, especially at her age, it's like that's the age that they really are in their joy and having fun. And they're not worried about, all of those things, and the rejection and whatever. And am I tall enough? Am I skinny enough? Am I whatever? It's just like they're just being, and so I love that. And it's just, I don't know, I think that's a gentle reminder for all of us actors and anybody, going into creative fields. It's just like, remember to have fun, remember to retain your joy throughout all of it, and then it won't feel so dire and frustrating at times,
right? Seriously,
Yeah.
gotta just just let it go.
Mhm.
Just be.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, so true. Well, thank you, Aria, for reminding us to do that for sure.
Right?
All right, so yes, yes, exactly. So let's talk about, you getting the opportunity to work with Mr. Perry, Mr. Tyler Perry, your journey into, now becoming Laura on House of Pain. How did that all come about? I feel like I know a little bit of it, so I'm going to act like I don't know, but you know.
Maybe a
Just because, we cross paths on, a specific movie. So anyway,
little now.
yeah, but I just want to hear a little bit about, that journey and how did you end up landing the role of Laura?
The journey of, what is the word I'm looking for? Um, where things change and shift drastically. I cannot think of the word that describes that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it was just monumental. I had this audition for the film, A Medea Family Funeral, and that was what I felt like the worst audition experience ever.
Did you self-tape or did you go into the room?
Coming into the room. So it was so crazy because that audition came in at 10 a.m. and they wanted me at 11 a.m.
Ooh.
out of town. And that morning I needed to pick up my family from the airport. And I had Aria, who was 2 years old, and I was stressed because I knew it was for Tyler Perry, and I knew what the opportunity meant or could mean.
Mm.
But I felt like with that short time frame, I was doomed from the beginning.
Mm.
I didn't want to approach it with a pessimistic attitude. We never do, but real life is real life. So actually getting there on time seemed impossible based on where I was located, based on what I know I needed to do, based on trying to learn the dialogue within 1 hour, based on trying to, by the way, I was already dressed for another audition that I had later that day. So I'm
Wow.
commercial clothes for the commercial audition, get that, but airport, but other side of town, but learn lines, but travel, but aria, but mama, but okay. So I get there 2 hours late because I had to change clothes. I had to print the script. I had to learn the lines in the car on the way over. I had to do makeup. I had to wipe my tears because I was crying because I felt like I'm not gonna.
I've had those too. Where you're like,
right,
let me go in here.
right, all of that, honey. I was like, I don't know what's going on, and I'm not gonna get it anyway because I'm not gonna lines. And I get in there and I do the audition, and I do the audition, and the casting director is like, okay, all right, let's do it again. And the first, I didn't say it right. Did the audition, did the first scene, the scene that I received. I did it one time. And then she said, okay, so you just took whatever's going on in your day and you put it into your role. I'm like, oh, did I? Okay. All right. She's like, okay, let's do another scene. Okay, that's always a good sign. Oh, I omitted the part. This is why she said that. I omitted the part that when I got there, I was being sent home. They were like, sorry, we're done seeing people. You're late. You're too late. You're 2 hours late. We're sorry.
What?
And I was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so late. I got the call at 10 a.m. It was 4:11, and I had to go to LAX, and I knew I needed to drive to the other side of town, and I have my daughter. She's downstairs, and my mom's in the car, and I needed to learn the lines. And I'm literally like spewing out, like vomiting words as I'm like moonwalking to the elevator because I just felt like I never do that. Like I never them the why, right? We never do that as actors. You just show up, you do your job, and you leave.
Yeah.
But since they told me it was over, well, bump it. Like I missed the audition anyway. So here's why I missed the audition. I'm so sorry. I had to do this, I had to do that. But thank you so much. I understand why. I understand if you don't want to see me. And then the assistant was like, well, she's here. I mean, you want to just read her?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Just go ahead. Are you ready? And I'm like, yeah. Did the audition. And then that's when she said, oh, so all of that stuff you just told me that happened to you today, you put that into your character.
Wow.
For me, I'm thinking, what? Huh? You know, in a zone. And I was so defeated. And she said, okay, let's do another scene. Okay, we did another scene. And she's like, all right, let's do it again. We did that a few times. And she's like, okay, I need you to not look at the paper. And I'm thinking like, oh, look at the paper. Like, you just gave me the lines. But okay. So I closed my eyes. Literally, I closed my eyes, Ciera, for like 1 second. Opened my eyes back up. And I delivered every single line to that woman without looking at that paper.
Wow.
And I asked God to just put those words in my mouth, put inside of me. And when I finished, she was stone cold. She was like, okay, thank you. She was like, okay, thank you. Are you available for those shoot dates? And I was like, yeah. She was like, okay, thank you. Close the door. And I was just, I was hyperventilating. I felt like my life is over. And ironically, another part of the story is I was about to move back to Chicago at that time. Reason why I had to go to the airport was to pick my mother up because my mother, I get emotional.
I feel it too, girl, because I know that was 2017. Stuff was going on with some people back. I don't know what it was, but go ahead.
So I was picking her up from the airport because she was going to come and help me pack so back to Chicago because it had just gotten too hard. And life just took a turn. Like I split from my daughter's father. We were getting a divorce. The roles were not coming in. It just wasn't what I felt it should be. And it was a struggle. So I was preparing to leave and preparing to sell my furniture, sending a 30-day notice to my apartment building saying I won't be able to stay. And I got that audition. And I left the audition feeling even more defeated because I didn't think that I'd done good. And so then the next day, my agent called and she was like, may I speak to Quin? I was like, it's me. She's like, may I speak to Quin Walters? I'm like, it's me. She's like, may I speak to the Quin Walters? I'm like, it's me. What's going on? Make you an offer. And I just lost it. I mean, it's like I've been crying for days now. Different reason. And I just remember it felt like I was outer body because my life was literally going in a different direction, like 24 hours ago. And then 24 hours later, it's going in a different direction, right? A better
Girl, I mean, I'm sorry but I was the same, literally. I mean, we talked,
I,
but I mean, I was on my way to get food stamps when I found out that I got that role. I was literally in my car. My agent did call me, and I was like, what? Like, I'm about to get food stamps. And he was like, well, you need to go and home and start packing. And I was like, what? Like, right on time. That ain't nothing but God. But go ahead. Sorry.
and it worked out. I mean, it worked out. My mom was there. So here we are again with the village. They needed me to fly the next day, which was crazy.
Mhm.
But God, he sets it up perfectly, okay? My mother was there. She was able to take care of Aria for me. I was able to get on that plane, fly to Atlanta and shoot the movie. And that's where I met you. And, and it was just a pivotal moment in my life. I will never forget that. And I haven't even had the opportunity to tell Tyler that story yet. One day I'll be able to sit down with him, but that was life-changing.
Yeah.
That was really life-changing. And it was just a really humbling moment because nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah.
Nothing is promised to you. But if you are faithful to God, if you work hard, if you are honest, if you show up ready to work, if you believe in yourself, even when you feel defeated. Lord knows I felt defeated that day. Oh my gosh, I was a mess. I knew that I had to show up. I knew that I couldn't say no to the audition, as late as I was. And damn near missed opportunity. Excuse my French. But I knew I had to show up. And thank God I did. Thank God.
And you showed out in that movie. So it was so great. And you were just I just remember just working with you and just I don't know, I mean just from day one meeting you and just being like, man, like this woman's awesome. Like I love her, like and we were just laughing and kikiing and everything. And it was just like such a great and fun experience, and like you were just so awesome to work with. And
It
so
was, it
and
was,
oh, thank you.
it was,
Thank you.
I'm like, such a beautiful soul, such a
Oh.
warm spirit. And we laughed and we took pictures.
Mhm.
We had a good old time.
Yes. And I just remember I never, I mean, I hadn't had that experience up until that point in my career. And so, to like taking pictures and dancing around and stuff, it's like normally you're like just on set, like just be on my good behavior, like, say my lines. But it was like a party, and so it was just so much fun. And I so loved working with you on that. And then afterwards, you ended up getting Have and Have Nots, right? Shortly afterwards.
After that,
Uh-huh.
Tyler just sent me to set. He was like, I know your work, and sent me to set. And I worked on the Haves and Have Nots for a season and a part of a new season. And then after that, they called me in for the House of Pain, which I was so grateful for that because then I could do something multicam, which I had not done before. That was my first time working multicam, and I loved it. I mean, I've been on the show for 3 seasons now, and I'm praying that they pick up another season, some more seasons, plural, in Jesus' name. But it's so much fun, and I'm again so grateful. Tyler is one of those people, as you know, he will bring you back Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
See, our people-
I remember how long we waited for that movie to come out. And like, we were like, when is the movie coming out? And then it came out.
out and he will repurpose you. So
Mm.
it's so great, and I'm just excited to see you on the oval too,
Oh.
doing your thing, and killing every scene, bringing the drama.
I'm ready for some comedy though. Like honestly, like I love doing my drama and I love working on an oval, but it's like I want to use my instrument in so many different ways and it's like I haven't really had the opportunity to do a lot of comedy and I'm like, man, how can I, get into that, So
Ooh.
it'll come. It'll
Okay.
come. So comedy wise, you're working with a few comedians and everything. What is this project? Can you tell us about it? Is it on the low low? Just what is it?
Well, I just wrapped Kev on Stage's Churchy, which is his comedy series, hilarious. It's on his app, Kev on Stage Studios app. And I'm also a series regular on his series called Black People Don't Do Improv. That is the fun time of my life. I mean, it's like what's work? This is not work. This is like we are having a party. So so every time I get to get on set with him and the whole crew, I am just over the moon. That is just the funnest time right now in my life. He's great. Crew is great. The cast, everybody is just hilarious. When I go to set, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna burn calories though. I can
Yeah.
just tapping all day so I can just eat what I want to eat.
Is Tony Baker, is he a part of that too?
Tony Baker, he comes through. Um, so many people.
Yeah, I love Tony. We worked on a friend's like web series thing years. That's how I met him, and he just had me cracking up the whole time. And then I've been following his journey ever since. And I'm like, if somebody don't give this man a doggone show, like seriously. So,
He is hilarious. And Angel Tanksley, that's my girl.
yes.
So many people. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll definitely be sure to link all of that down below and also make sure people watch it for sure because gotta support our content creators and also we gotta support our own for sure. And we gotta laugh. We gotta laugh, Again, what did Aria teach us? Like just have fun, We gotta have fun and we gotta laugh. So let's get into it. I love it. So
That's it
sure
really
is.
it really is. It really is. Whenever I'm feeling anything down, whatever, I watch Martin. I watch
Mm.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Anything make me laugh. It uplifts the spirit. So
Yes. Oh, yes. All right. So we are going to now just segue into a few little rapid fire questions. I'm
oh,
going to say a little phrase. You're going to finish it or just try to answer it in like a sentence or two or maybe three, but whatever. Just however you want to answer it. All right. So I feel like I'm going to know this anyway, but just go ahead and give it to me. So, what is your favorite movie?
Color Purple.
Exactly. I knew that. Right? If you weren't doing this, you would be.
A doctor.
Hmm. So, first thing you do when you wake up.
Pray.
Hmm. What is your dream project?
A period piece. Um, a period piece.
Like,
1700s.
oh,
Doesn't necessarily have to be slavery. I'm
mhm.
not slavery. I know a lot of people have issues with. I'm all about telling stories. So if the story is good, if the story is worthy, if the story is moving, powerful, inspirational, period piece.
Love it. Love it. All right. And I want actors, artists, and creatives to practice a little more.
Kindness. Kindness. It's the through thread that makes sense. Kindness is what people remember about you. I feel even more so than your work, because the work I think is a short-lived thing, but the time you spend, there's more downtime than work a lot of times, right? So you're interacting with people. How are you treating them? How are you being perceived? What are you projecting? Is it good? It should be. And that's what's going to give you longevity, I feel, in any field, but definitely in this field, because people hire people that they like.
Exactly. Yes. All right. So those are the rapid fire questions. But to just piggyback off of that, because I didn't get a chance to ask this, what do you believe the job or the responsibility of an actor or artist or creative is? Just in your own words.
I believe the role of an actor is to have the audience feel. It's my job to make you feel something. Am I making you feel love? Am I making you feel hatred? That could be a thing too. Am I making you feel understood? Am I making you feel seen? That is the very thing that I can attribute my passion to, is how I felt when I saw The Color Purple. What it made me feel is what I carry. And so our responsibility is to emote, make you feel, sitting in that chair, take you away from your bills. I'm taking you away from your worries. I'm taking you out of your reality, immersing you into our reality. And you're not thinking about anything about your life. You're only involved in what's going on in this life. And that's our job. That's our job.
Yes. Oh, Quin, I just love you so much. It's so on point. Oh, I love you, love you, love you. Oh, again, thank you so much for stopping by. I so appreciate it. Is there anything that you wanted to share or talk about that we didn't get a chance to touch on before we close out?
Um, just a little bit about, I don't think I mentioned it when you asked about motherhood, and just some of the things that it has taught me. I think I skipped over that, and I've talked more about just being a mom and the transition actor to mom actor. But what I've learned is more patience. What I've learned is better listening skills. I've also learned how to fight, if that makes sense, when it comes to having a voice. I feel like I am Arya's voice right now. She can't speak up for herself in every arena, right? I mean, I encourage her to speak up at school. I'm not there. I encourage her to speak up when she's at play rehearsal or whatever. But, there are times when I have to stand up for her. If some kid is bothering her at school, and I have to have a parent-teacher conference, whatever it may be. And so I feel like, for me, I can take a back road sometimes, and I can like blow things off. As Quin, it's not that big of a deal. I'll get over it. It's over. It's past. But when it comes to her, when it comes to being a parent and being a protector and being a leader and being an influencer, her first female influence, I my job to show her that I will stand up for you, but I also have to stand up for myself. And so I've learned to do that through doing that for her. I've learned to speak up for myself. And I've also learned a massive, greater love for myself through her. I tell her every day how beautiful she is, how brilliant she is, how smart, how loving, how kind, all the things that truly represent her. I repeat back to her, let her hear them, let her feel them. But as I'm feeding that to her, I have to believe all that for myself too. I pour that into myself way more and truthfully, because how can I expect her to be honest with her heart, honest with her mind, honest with her love, honest with her care, honest with her confidence, self-esteem, and all the things, but I'm not.
Exactly.
Times when I was not. So through loving her and guiding her and rearing her, I've learned to really pour into myself, really love Quin fully, wholly. She's watching me. She has to know what it looks like to love yourself. She has to know what it looks like to stand up for yourself. She has to know what it looks like to protect yourself. She has to know what it looks like to go after your passions. So I have to be on my game. So I am doing my best. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying when you have somebody watching you, it helps you to try to really do better each day. And that's just all I can ask for of myself. And that's what I ask God to give me, is a better Quin each day, so I can be a better mom to her each day, so she can be a better Aria each day.
I love it. And you just thank you for sharing that and saying that, because honestly, Quin, like, you radiate that so much, just that self-love, that confidence, that, gosh, what, I can't even find the word, but it's just beautiful to see a woman just embrace all of who she is and just smile and laugh and love each and every day. You embody all of that light and all of that joy and all of that love. And I just think it's so beautiful to just see a woman do that, and and also be an example of that for their daughter. But you're an example of that for everybody. I mean, I go onto your social media and you're just glowing and laughing and smiling and just embracing the totality of all of who you are. And I just think Aria is so blessed and, lucky to have you as a mom. And, I'm taking notes, for when that day happens for me. I'm going to be like, Quin, how do I do this? But it starts with you doing the work that you're doing, and then bringing that out to the little one of you. So I love it. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And so where can people find you or find out more about you?
Well, I'm on Instagram. I'm not really on Facebook like that. So is my name at Quin Walters, and that's Quin with one N. And I'm there. I post about my work, my daughter, fashion, all the things that make me smile and bring me joy.
Yay, awesome. All right. Well, y'all be sure to go ahead and follow her. And Quin, thank you so very much for stepping into the In Tribe. This is a place for the inspired, thriving tribe, and you just embody all of that. And so thank you so much for stepping in. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I love you, girl.
I love you.
Wow, how awesome was that to sit with Quin and hear all about her journey and her story. And, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I hope that you were able to take a few little tidbits from that, or just, walk away today feeling inspired and uplifted from Quin's story. So again, if you want to learn more about Quin or check out any of her other projects, the links will be left down below. And also, if you want more content, please be sure to hit up theintribe.com. We have articles, more YouTube videos, and everything right there at your fingertips. All right. And so I am going to be looking forward to seeing you at the next video. But until then, stay inspired, keep thriving, and I love you, and I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye.